Welcome back to Medicine Made Easy with me, Kavithandal. In this video, we will continue with the allergic conjunctivitis, and that is VKC, vernal keratoconjunctivitis. If you have not watched the previous video where we have discussed the differential diagnosis and the findings related to these pictures, the video link is in the description. You can check it out, and you can share this video to your friends so that we will learn together. Without further delay, let us continue our topic on allergic conjunctivitis, that is VKC. Now, from the name, what are we going to infer? See, vernal keratoconjunctivitis. What is the meaning of vernal? Vernal does mean something called spring season. So, it is also called spring catarrh. Catarrh means excess or exaggerated. Okay, so from the name, what you are inferring? Something, this disease is related to some season that is called spring season. But remember, this is a misnomer because this disease is also seen in warm weather. So it is also called as warm weather conjunctivitis. So what are the synonyms for the disease is vernal keratoconjunctivitis, spring catarrh, and warm weather conjunctivitis. Okay, so catarrh means exaggerated. It is an allergic keratoconjunctivitis. It means what the allergy is exaggerated in the spring and warm weather. What happens in spring and warm weather? There's a usual is floweral blossom, and there are chances that the pollens are going to be the probable cause for allergy. Now, these flowers are in the environment. We are in the home. How do this allergy is going to pick up? This is how where when at school age children, right, 4 to 20 years old child, especially males who go out and play, they are more at risk. Okay, so males at 4 to 20 years of age, they are going to go play out, so they are going to acquire this disease. It's not a disease, it is an allergic conjunctivitis. This allergy, so this is common in spring season and as well in warm weather summers. So warm weather conjunctivitis, we know this is type 1 hypersensitivity reaction, so underlying pathology would be an IgE mediated. It is an allergy, and this is exaggerated allergy. Now, because of this allergy, what is happening? There is an injury to the kerato, that is cornea and conjunctiva. Okay, so that is inflammation. Now, what type of inflammation we are expecting? It is type 1 hypersensitivity. So there is an inflammatory cells. What are the inflammatory cells? This is basically eosinophil and mast cells, and these are all seen where they are seen as papilla in the conjunctiva. Usually, this is involving the upper eyelid. Now, there's infiltration in the adenoid layer and as well in the papilla. This is what we see, right? And this is what we already see in the picture also. That is a flat topped papilla. That is also called as cobblestone appearance or pavement stone appearance. This is the papilla, and there will be ropey, characteristic ropey discharge. This eosinophils and mast cells, what it does, it causes marked itching and burning sensation. That is the clinical feature. Okay, now coming to signs, all signs of inflammation will be there: calor, rubella, tumor, loss of function. That will be swelling. That is chemosis. That is what is called as tumor, right? So this is what is the inflammation feature. What we are seeing now. What does this tissue, cornea and conjunctiva, is going to present? Now coming to conjunctiva, by this type of hypersensitivity reaction, this conjunctiva is going to present two types. One is palpebral conjunctiva is involved and bulbar conjunctiva is involved. Whenever there is involvement of palpebral conjunctiva, as we already said, there is a hypertrophic papilla, which is called as cobblestone appearance or cauliflower-like excrescence. This cauliflower-like excrescence is basically whenever there is a giant papilla because of severe disease. Okay, this is one. Coming to bulbar conjunctiva, this bulbar conjunctiva is going to involve, and there will be in the limbus, there will be accumulation of the epithelial cells and these eosinophils like a white raised dot, and that is called as hornet ranta spots. There will be also gelatinous limbal papilla, which is seen in the limbus. There is a dusky red triangular congested area also. This is related to the conjunctiva. So conjunctiva, there is papillary reaction, hornet ranta spot, and congestion, and limbal gelatinous papilla. When it comes to cornea, this is going to cause what is called as vernal keratopathy. Remember, it is pathy, it's not as like active inflammation taking place. Now, how does this cornea is involved? This cornea is involved by extension of limbal lesion, right? So this is the cornea, here is the limbus, here there is a limbal lesion. This limbal lesion will directly extend onto the cornea, which is resulting in vernal keratopathy. Now let us see how does it is extending. See, this is the cornea, this is the limbal lesion, this is extending. This is the very simple cut section lesion. So this is extending now. As it's extending, this causes punctate keratitis. This punctate keratitis will, after time, it will coalesce, will form frank epithelial erosion. This eroded epithelium of the cornea will later transform into corneal plaque, where all the mucous secretion all will join together form a plaque. Over this plaque, this bacteria is going to multiply right? So this multiplication of bacteria will result in ulcerative vernal keratitis. This is called the stage where a sealed ulcer will going to develop. When there is ulceration, what happens? There is healing. That is subepithelial scarring. Remember, all of these are taking place. See, this is epithelium, this is Bowman's. Everything is above Bowman's. Huh? Everything is happening above Bowman's. So the scarring is subepithelial scarring. But what happens every time this is happening? Every time the person, the boy, the child is exposed and he is expressing this all signs and symptoms in the conjunctiva and as well in cornea, at later recurrence, what happens is there is pseudogerontoxin. As we already discussed in previous video, pseudo is false, geron means the old age people, geriatric population, gerontoxin does signify arcuus senilis. So this is not an arcuus senilis, rather it is some simulating arcuus senilis. So it is called pseudogerontoxin. Okay. So this is all the lesions which we see in the corneal, that is vernal keratopathy. One thing to say, remember the visual acuity for sure that is going to get affected. The visual acuity can be affected by involvement of cornea, that is vernal keratopathy, but that is not because of the papilla which we have seen, no, that flat top papilla. That is not, no, that is not the cause for vernal keratopathy and decreased acuity. Rather, the greater exposure of toxic inflammatory mediator, that is the reason for decreased visual acuity. When comparing to VKC and AKC has more visual affection than VKC. Okay. And what are the differential diagnoses we know? One is trachoma, next is atopic KC, keratoconjunctivitis. Trachoma is also called as Egyptian ophthalmia. Now, how to differentiate ATKC and VKC? Simple. See, in trachoma, what happens? There is upper eyelid predilection, and in AKC, there is also involvement of lower lid. Number one. Number two, it is a perennial inflammation, AKC, and number three is both male and female are involved in AKC. Done. To differentiate trachoma and VKC, which is both presenting in upper eyelid, very simple. In trachoma, mixed papillary and follicular reaction is seen. In VKC, there is predominant papillary hypertrophy is seen. That's all. This is very simple to differentiate. Other important sign include Maxwell-Lyon sign. What is Maxwell-Lyon sign? See, basically in this picture, what you are seeing is the upper eyelid. Now here are the papilla, right? So there is see this is a pseudomembranous formation which is seen in the upper eyelid. When inverted, we can see this, and exposed to heat, this is basically seen in the upper eyelid. This is what is called as Maxwell-Lyon sign, which is characteristic in VKC. And when you take the patient's tears, that will have high levels of leukotrienes and histamines, and this is actually said to be an IgE mediated and as well Th2 and T17 T helper cell 17 lymphocyte mediated also. Now coming to the management. Simple. See, what is the presentation? Redness. So this is an acute inflammation. Give NSAID eye drop. Itching. Antihistamine and mast cell stabilizer. Example, olapatadine. Mast cell stabilizer alone, 2% sodium chromoglycate, 5 times a day we can give. Right. So ropey discharge is because of the inflammation, there is ropey discharge. You control all this, inflammation, discharge will be settling down. Simple. Okay. Now coming to what is happening, there is inflammation taking place. So this is severe inflammation. There is eosinophil and HLSL which is settling in the limbus, right? So to decrease inflammation, what to do? Steroid. Topical low potent steroids. Example, fluoromethalone. 2 hourly we need to give, and medrosone we can give. Next is, if it's a refractory case, we can give cyclosporine and tacrolimus. Cyclosporine 0.5 to 1% and tacrolimus 0.03% ointment. Now other things is we can keep the patient in AC room. Cold compress can be given, and dark goggles for photophobia, because there is involvement of cornea, there will be photophobia. If there is some sealed ulcer, we can do ulcer management, and for sure there is prescription of artificial tear can be given, and we know there can be a plaque. For that, we are going to give plaque excision or simply 0.5% of acetylcysteine. Nothing is settling. What to do? Desensitization. If it's a large papilla, what we see, then we can do supratarsal steroid injection or cryotherapy or surgery can be done. With this, we have completed the discussion on vernal keratoconjunctivitis. So hope you are clear about this case, and it helped you a lot to identify the lesion and as well the concept. Thank you so much for your patient listening. We'll all meet in the next video. Till then, stay tuned. Bye bye.